Hi folks, welcome to week 6. This is the raw foods versus cooked foods challenge. So we're going to mix it up a little bit. We want to keep the videos a little bit shorter, a little bit smaller, and I would love some feedback from you guys in terms of, is this a better format for you? So instead of doing an intro and a principle and a purpose separately, we're just going to crunch them all together. So here it is. I really want to educate people and turn them on to educating themselves more about the effects of cooking food and what that does to the nutrient content and what that does to the physiology, and really, like we said in last week, what are we really getting from our foods? We can actually truly buy some of the best food on the planet, but if we cook it to death, we just don't get much from it. Now that might be stating the obvious, but to me, 4, 5, 6 years ago, I wasn't really thinking that way. I was investing a large amount of money in healthy foods because I was trying to do nutrition right, but the way that I was preparing them and the percentage of cooked foods compared to raw foods was way off, and I really don't think that I was getting nearly what I was investing in, and I want to help you guys avoid that mistake as well. So I put a lot of articles down below that talks about the difference between taking food and reducing it down into a less effective or less nutritious state just simply by the process of cooking. So I'm not a fanatic about raw foods as far as just going way over to one side and that's all I consume. I think there's people that can do that, you know, and what, God bless them, but that's not me. I can't do it. But I try my best to incorporate more raw foods in my diet. I know my wife April and I, once we started thinking about this stuff, we would try to cook our foods a little bit less. And then we started to actually develop a taste bud for these sort of things to where the flavor was a little crisper or there was more flavor actually there. And then we started to dabble in making, you know, different types of salads or different types of concoctions with vegetables that we didn't actually cook. We just cut them up differently and or seasoned them, spiced them a little bit different. And tremendous flavor and tremendous nutritional value. So these are the things that I want you guys to kind of think about this week and challenge yourself this week to try to get more raw, nutritious foods, more living foods inside your body, and see what happens over the course of a couple days of doing that consistently. So we'll get into more practice stuff in a little bit in the next video. There are only going to be 2 videos this week. So let's talk a little bit more and go a little bit deeper into this concept of raw foods and what it does to the physiology and what it does to health and disease. I want you guys to look something up. I didn't supply it here on this website, but it's called Kirlian photography. Kirlean, I think that's how you pronounce it. Otherwise, you put it in Google, you'll figure it out. But we're actually starting to have technology where we can take pictures or photos of different kinds of vegetables and fruits, and we can actually see what kind of electromagnetic properties, aka what kind of energy, aka what kind of nutritional value do these foods actually have when they're in a raw state, an organic versus processed state, or even a cooked state. And you can see, even via photography, so colors and something that can visually stimulate you, that there's a big difference between an organic apple versus a highly processed apple versus maybe even cooking an apple or apple slices down. Tremendous difference, and it really starts to get you thinking about maybe I should be buying a little bit more organic versus processed. So there's really something here. It's not just a personal opinion or a preference that some health fanatic like myself is telling you to do, but there's real true technology, there's real true science behind why you want to do this. It also kind of helps you think about, maybe I want to start putting more raw foods in my diet just for the sake of getting what, you know, God and Mother Nature intended us to have, which is this high vibrating, high energy food, this substance into our body, so that we in turn become that ourselves. So I want you guys to look into that. As you read down through, I think, the main article this week, at least make sure you get that one done. If you look into that article, I think it even starts to go into what's called biophotons. And I don't want you to get too lost or too put off by that. I think some of you guys will actually find this quite fascinating. But I want to encourage you all to get something out of that. Don't get too crazy in being caught up into some talk or some speak in these articles, but just start thinking, if you aren't already, about food as energy. And what we actually do to our food changes how much energy it can give us. I think once we all start thinking like this, our nutritional habits will change, our physiology will change, and our outcome in life has got to change as well. So enjoy this week's challenge. let's get on to the next video, and I'll try to outline a couple ideas or strategies that you should be focusing on, working on, challenging yourself during this week with, and I'll see you in the next video.